Assalamu alaikum. I hope you have been well. Today we are going to be discussing one of the greatest aspects of your life after becoming a Muslim, and that is choosing a spouse. So in Islam, it's no secret that marriage is made a big deal of. We have the hadith that says it's half of our deen. And today we're going to be exploring what the Qur'an and hadith have to tell us about selecting a proper spouse. What are the things we should look for? What are the things we shouldn't really care about or be lenient about? And then I think I'll make a second video about a healthy marriage within the limits of Islam. So today we're just going to be talking about what kind of advice we have from the Qur'an and the hadith about what we should look for in a spouse and what should matter before we get married. So in the Quran it tells us, and one of his signs is that he created mates for you from yourselves that you may find and rest in them, and he put between you love and compassion. Most surely there are signs in this for a people who reflect. And that's from the Quran, Surah 30 verse 21. So this sets the tone in the Quran for why marriage is important. It increases our faith if we have a beautiful spouse to share our life with. And it reminds us of the mercy and blessings of Allah. And if you see today, we have a lot of mental illnesses and loneliness and depression, and these things feed each other. And I believe the epidemic is caused by people not taking marriage seriously anymore, people not being loyal to marriage anymore and not holding it in a high esteem. And so the Quran, as our guide, tells us, no, this is actually really important for you, and it is one of our signs that we've sent to you, that we've created for you a spouse. So and there's another really beautiful hadith that tells us the Muslim man has not achieved any benefit from Allah's blessings better than a suitable Muslim wife after Islam. So this tells us how important it is for us to take advantage of the fact that Allah has created a perfect match for us somewhere out there. We should not be marrying people who are not Muslims or do not share our same faith. Your worldview and your religion is a huge part of that, is the foundation of any good relationship. And when you two are not on the same wavelength or not even close, it's just going to make the relationship really difficult. And we have advice from the Quran about this. It says, do not marry the polytheist women unless they come to believe in Islam. A Muslim slave girl is better than a polytheist woman, even though she may attract you, and do not give your women in marriage to polytheist men unless they come to believe. A Muslim slave is better than a polytheist, even though he may attract you. They invite to the fire when Allah invites, by His will, to paradise and to forgiveness. He makes His verses clear to the people so that they may heed the advice. And that's Quran 2:221. And the second piece of advice we get, and marry those among you who are single, and also marry the pious, fit, and capable ones of your male slaves and maidservants. If they be poor, Allah will enrich them out of His bounty, and Allah is all sufficient for His creatures' needs, all knowing about the state of the people. So, and that's from Surah Al-Nur 24:32. This advice tells us what is important is your beliefs together, okay? And somebody who ideally has either the same level of piety as you and has the same drive to be better and do better every day is going to be an ideal match. And here it's telling us it doesn't matter if they're lower in social status, class, maybe they are not as good looking as you. All this stuff is superficial and on the outside. It really matters what they're going to do for you in terms of your faith. if they are going to increase you in faith, wallahi, there is no characteristic that is more important than this. And we also have hadith to back this up. If someone with whose piety and character you are satisfied comes to you, then marry him. If you do not do so, there will be disorder in the earth and a great deal of evil. That's from the Tirmidhi Hadith collection. And then we have, a woman is married for 4 things: her wealth, her family status, her beauty, and her religion. So you should marry the religious woman, otherwise you will be a loser. And that's from the Al-Bukhari Hadith collection. In all of these instances, we're told and we're given the advice that we should be marrying people for their religious convictions. And we should have really open and candid discussions with our potential spouses about our expectations and what we believe. Because even within Islam, there are a lot of like gray area issues that, you know, can become a problem in a marriage. For example, some people believe that it's haram to listen to music. Some people take the verse where a man can have multiple wives and actually want to literally apply that to their lives. So there are definitely things within Islam itself that you guys have to discuss and come together and agree on before you get married, or they can cause a problem for you in the future. But the main thing that we're told is, if you don't marry someone because, let's say, you think they're not wealthy enough, or they don't, you know, look good enough, or they're not of the race or culture that you would like them to be, but they are pious and practicing Muslim, and they'd actually be good for you, then there is going to be evil in the world. And I think if we look around, we've seen this happening. Now, the other part of this, besides deciding on a spouse, is the mahr. And I've heard a lot of crazy discussions about this, and read a lot of outrageous stories about dowries and, you know, women wanting this and men wanting that. And it drives me absolutely bonkers, because we don't get married to gain wealth. We get married, or at least material wealth. We get married because of the psychological and even the physical benefits of having a spouse of the opposite sex. That is why we get married. So this idea of the dowry being a deal breaker, or something that we put up as a wall for the youth so that they can't get married because we know they don't have anything, is just ridiculous. And we have a ton of advice from the Qur'an and the hadith. So let me go over that quickly before I just delve into what I want to say about it. And give the women upon marriage their bridal gifts graciously. But if they give up willingly to you anything of it, then take it in satisfaction and ease. And that's Qur'an 4:4. So it's really not specific in the Qur'an about what you're supposed to be giving for the dowry. And here we're told that, you know, give out of the goodness of your heart. A gift isn't good if it's forced. It's not a gift anymore. It's a demand or something else. So a dowry is meant to be something that the man gives the woman out of the goodness of his heart, that makes them both grow in mutual love for each other. And it shouldn't be excessive. In the hadith, we have a ton of examples of why making the mahr excessive is, or the dowry excessive, is going to create fitna for our community. It says, the best of marriage is that which is made easiest. And to follow that up, the best of mahrs is the simplest or most affordable. Okay, so here we're told it shouldn't be something outlandish or crazy. And what is the example of the Prophet, peace be upon him, when Fatima got married, his favorite daughter? I married Fatima, may Allah be pleased with her, and said, O Messenger of Allah, let me go ahead with the marriage. He said, give her something. I said, I do not have anything. He said, where is your Hutaymi shield? I said, I have it with me. He said, give it to her. That is what Prophet Muhammad advised Ali to give Fatima for her dowry, a shield. So it's not really meant to be something that's going to make you wealthy. It's a token, and it's something that you decide between yourselves, and it's not meant to be an economic transaction. It's just supposed to be something that's meaningful to you. So, for example, when I got married, first of all, I didn't even know about dowry. I didn't care. It's not part of my American tradition, and it was the first time I was really considering marriage. So I had some research to do, and it was actually my husband who mentioned it. And, he asked what I wanted, and I didn't know, and I didn't really care. I thought I was getting the prize of a lifetime already with him, alhamdulillah. So he gave me a recitation of a Quranic verse for my mare, and it really was the most beautiful gift that anyone could get in this life. So there were 3 things that I really wanted to stress during this video. The first is, when we're looking for a spouse, we need to be first looking for a religious and pious person who has the same Islamic values as we do. The second is that we cannot make the mare a big deal, guys. It needs to be reasonable, and it's really just a token. It's not meant to make the woman wealthy or the man, put the man in hardship. It's just a gift of love between a man and a woman, and that's it. And the family doesn't need to be involved, by the way, because I've seen a lot of posts about this. And the third is, if you really, really, truly want somebody that Allah has made for you, I strongly advise you to make istikhara. And what istikhara literally means is to seek blessings and guidance from Allah for a decision. And for you reverts out there who might not know this, Google it, okay? So in order to make it, you first make your intention for istikhara. You pray 2 rakats of prayer, and then you recite the dua of istikhara and mention your need to Allah. And you can find these steps pretty easily on Google. I'm not going to go over them. But when you do this, you're asking for what is best from Allah, in Allah's opinion, not yours, not your mother's, not your father's, Allah. And Allah will send you the best, something you didn't even think you wanted or needed. So inshallah, with those 3 points in mind, I wish for you to find your spouse. I wish for your marriage to be blessed. And inshallah, we'll discuss how to create and maintain a healthy marriage in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.